Hey, also here is our week 3 walkthrough of the creative physiology test, and you'll see we have all this loveliness on the side for our instructions. You want to see faculty materials, you'll see student, you will have the rubric, the playlist that you're looking at, and then the template in APA format. So let's go look at that rubric. There we go. So for this one, it says, imagine you've been asked to teach a small group of your peers about animal organs. I love that we get to create a test because it really helps you to create a test, then you understand how to take a test. So you need to have at least 10 questions. Most people can do 10 questions. It's totally enough for this. Some people just have more to say. Whatever makes you happy. I want you to feel comfortable. I just need at least 10. And you will talk about the differences between asymmetrical, radial symmetry and bilateral symmetry. Make sure you discuss all of these. The differences between endotherms and exotherms. These are not reactions, these are like organisms. So an endotherm is commonly called warm-blooded, exotherm is commonly called cold-blooded. You will, though, go into a lot more depth into this discussion about what that really means. Epithelial definition and examples of epithelial tissues. It means you're going to need one example at least. Same for connective, same for muscle, and same for nervous. We're going to use that template to complete the assignment, which makes life a lot easier. And this is all going to be about how to word things. So it does help to check out the website. And then we'll be using at least 3 references, format, and remember those specific examples require in-text citations. This rubric is pretty much the same, but I always like a checklist. Also make sure everything matches for your references, or I'll be irritated. APA, just follow what the template shows, you should be fine. Let's go look at that template. Okay, I'm at the bottom of it, so let's scroll back up to the top. Okay, so it starts off with your beautiful title page, which already has a title. You can change it if you want to, don't really care. You put your name in, the course number is already there, and you'll put the date in. If you change the title, change it over here too, so that your title heading matches. Now all this section, once you have completed your test, I would delete this so it just starts off with your first question, but I would wait until it's actually all completed just because it would stress me out. That's a personal thing. So use this template to complete the physiology test assignment. The following is an example of how to format your multiple choice questions. Make sure to include in-text citations and answers, full references in the reference section, and have at least 10 questions and bold the correct answers. So what is the difference between a specialist and a generalist? Give an example of each. See how it's really long? I'm really going in here. So it's not something like, oh, is this a specialist? Like, you need to say why. You want make sure that your people you're doing really know what they're talking about, and I, as the evaluator, know what you're talking about. So make sure all your options are actually feasible. So a specialist can do one job while a generalist can do any job. An example of a generalist is a koala, an example of a specialist is a kudzu. So that was not correct, unbolded. Generalists always become invasive if introduced to new environments, while specialists always die. An example of a generalist is a raccoon. An example of a specialist is a rat. Incorrect. C. A specialist can live almost anywhere and eat almost anything, while a generalist needs very specific resources to thrive. An example of a generalist is a jaguar. An example of a specialist is a pig. Wrong. Last one. A specialist needs very specific resources to thrive, while a generalist can live almost anywhere and eat almost anything. An example of a generalist is a kudzu. An example of a specialist is a koala. Now you see I've here put the in-text citation. You could do an according to whatever an in-text citation, but you really want to have an in-text citation for the one that has the correct answer. So I'm really going to probably be expecting an in-text citation for each question. Personally, what I would do to create my questions, I would, like say it was specialist and generalist, I would research those and kind of find a bunch of qualities and then flip-flop them in the first 3 or switch them around and then have the last one. I might even write my final answer first. And you see how here I've managed to give you a definition and examples. So it's really nice detail. If you feel more comfortable, you can make it 2 questions, do one that has the definition and then one that has examples. You can do a fill-in-the-blank style question where you still have multiple choices. Because I could have said, I could have had the definition here and then said an example of a generalist is blank, an example of a specialist is blank, and then have the options down here for what was correct. There's different ways to approach it. Think about all the tests you've had in the past, look at that link, see what works. And then you'll do this for 10 questions. You see they have the correct answer is being D and bolded. If you want to make it a different letter, that's fine. Just make sure you bold it so I know it's the correct answer. And then we scroll to the bottom and we have a page break and a lovely reference section. So in this section, you're going to have your references. You need at least 3. They're going to be in ABC order by first word, ignoring A and the, those kind of words. Let's see, you're going to have hanging and dense. They will all have matching in-text citations. So if I Control F the first word of any of these references, or first couple of words, it should send me to an in-text citation, right? If you want more references, that's fine. I think about 3 is about right because some of the stuff the book's not really detailed about. Like I found that the endotherm and exotherm is probably going to be better to do like a Google search. Also, some of the stuff needs the examples. The book may not list them easily, so you might want to like look for a website that really lists examples. Make sure you have those specific examples, and I think that's everything. So if you have a draft, send it to me by noon on Monday, unless I say something differently in the class messages. Hope this helps.